Love, light, and blessings. Shamanic Awak Priestess here, and I am very excited to do today's video. So, I am going to be continuing with my Truth Tea series. And this series is basically where I give you the tea, the realities, the harsh truth, the things that nobody else is going to tell you about spirituality. So this will be the second installment of that, and it's going to have its own playlist, which is called Truth Tea, if you're interested on the previous video of this. So basically, I'm going to try to link the first video also on the description bar. That way, if you want to watch it, you feel more than welcome to do so. So Truth Tea. Today's topic is the realities of being a energy worker on a full-time basis. So the energy work is separate from a root worker, so like a spell work. I will do another Truth Tea on what it's like to be a full-time spell, aka ritual caster. This has to do more with energy exchange. So balancing chakras, cut cording, doing a misa, so my mediumship, those types of things that I do. Okay, so being an energy healer, exorcisms, I do exorcisms, so I do those types of shaman or energy healer things. I do a lot of energy exchange with people. So these are the realities, the harsh realities of being a full-time energy worker that no one tells you about. So are you ready? So first things first, one of the things I made notes, okay? So one of the things they don't tell you is that you need to have a mentor. You need to have a mentor, not just read about, oh, I read this book about doing exorcisms and I read some chapters and now I'm in a full-time exorcist, blah, 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 blah. No, you need to actually get a mentor, okay? And that's for the safety of yourself and others, whether they're paying you for it or not. You want to make sure that you're not bringing that negative entity or energy to your home with your family and loved ones, okay? I've seen so many people. There was a saying when I used to be in church, don't lay hands on people unless you have the gift of healing, because sometimes you can take on those energies yourself. And you'll see people in the church, like they'll have people that make sure that people are not doing that, just laying their hands on random people and praying for them and those types of things and ministering. There's a certain protocol. In that same manner, when it comes to being a energy healer, there is a certain protocol. You have to be someone that's had a long and extensive mentorship, okay? Yes, this gift can come naturally. But again, just because like you have people that are naturally gifted at singing, they're still going to have a vocal coach. They're still going to try to exercise that instrument, that gift that they have. So the same thing with energy healing and spirituality. You should have a real life like mentor. You should have a vast knowledge of the practice that you're doing. So if it's spiritualism, you should have a knowledge of that. When you do mediumship, contacting the other side, all whatever has to do with an energy exchange, balancing someone's chakras, right? Or cord cutting, or doing a past life regression, or doing a soul retrieval. Those types of things you should have, again, some type of training. This is not something you just like, oh, I am this wonderful person, I'm the one, and then just go and start doing random things. Also, you need to have a code of moral ethics. You should never exploit other people's mental health issues. Sometimes someone is not being spiritually attacked. They don't need a soul retrieval. They don't need any type of energy work. What they actually need is the help of a professional psychiatrist, therapist, things of that nature. And so when I feel like that's the case, I would tell someone, even in readings, or if they're looking for some type of energy work, I'm like, I kind of feel like Spirit is saying, you should try to seek professional help. I can help you alongside with that, with the spiritual ends of things, but make sure you're taking care of your mental health. You'll also, same thing with energy work when it comes to spiritually healing things and the spiritual causes of illnesses. You should still see your doctor, right? You should still have your medicine. If you have cancer, you still do chemo. If you have asthma, you should still be taking your asthma medications. If you have bipolar disorder and you're on prescription medication, then yes, take your medication, okay? So never exploit people and act like you are a medical licensed doctor. Never tell someone not to seek treatments from a doctor. Never claim to do, like, I can heal cancer and all of that stuff. That's immoral, okay? Always have moral ethics. Don't exploit mental health, vulnerability, or the desperation of another person, okay? Because in the same way that you can get a spiritual gift, that gift can be taken away if you abuse it. 3, always be honest and transparent as an energy worker, okay? You have too many people that act like they could do things that they damn well cannot do, okay? Be honest about your experiences. If you are new to this and you're practicing, make sure you tell somebody, hey, I just received my Reiki certification and I need to practice on someone, that kind of thing. I'm still in the beginning stages of it, or I'm just learning how to do misa, or I'm just learning how to channel. Is it okay if we try to have a practice session? That is good, and that's integrity. You're being honest and you're being transparent, versus someone who's acting like they have this vast, long line of experience and they don't. You're going to put yourself and that person in danger, because you might end up conjuring or bringing forward a spirit that is very negative, and then you don't even know how to send it back. You don't know how to open space, close space in a safe way. So be honest and transparent about your abilities to yourself and others. It's going to bless you and help you in the long run, okay? Practice what you preach. So if you are telling someone, I'm balancing your chakras, or I'm balancing your spiritual points, or healing your aura, or any type of energy work with healing, make sure that in the same way that you're telling other people to practice more self-love, that you yourself in your own personal life are practicing self-love, right? If you're telling someone they need to be in balance with the physical and spiritual realm, then you yourself need to be balanced in your spiritual and physical realm. If you're doing past life regression healing, then you need to be healed with your own past life. If you're doing ancestral healing on others, then you need to have already healed yourself through your own ancestral traumas, okay? So practice what you preach. If you're practicing a life of balance and harmony, then you need to first do that with yourself. Get yourself together before you offer these services to others, okay? Also, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to have regular everyday problems. I do too. But I know when I'm not balanced, or when there's too much chaos around me, I have the integrity to say, hey, temporarily I'm not going to be doing healing work, or temporarily I'm not going to be doing energy exchanges or healing. I'll know when to reschedule that, reset that, and do another time. It's better to be honest with someone and say, I'm not in the mental or health space that I need to be, and so I need to kind of push this back, than going and doing something and you're not in balance. So practice what you preach, okay? Always be respectful of the energies that you're working with, deities that you're working with, and the healing process for a client or your loved ones, or whoever it is that you're trying to do healing for. Always practice your skills before. If you are someone who wants to, like, I have a calling to be an energy worker, and you feel like you have a calling, like if it's you saying I have a calling, then you owe it to your potential future clients to practice without payment first, kind of hone in those skills, improve upon those skills, build a strong practice with it, make sure you're having positive results and you're actually helping people, right? And then you see, like, wow, I've been doing this for a while and I feel like I really helped a lot of people. Then yeah, charge for what you're worth and help people. But make sure you have enough practice and you actually know how to do the energy work appropriately, okay? Also, even after you become professional, you should continue to practice enhancing your abilities, okay? Practicing as an energy worker with anything that has to do with spiritual topics, you should always be practicing your abilities. You can never be too good at something, and you're always learning. Also, be dedicated to your spiritual practice. And what I mean by that is, you have to make time for yourself to appropriately meditate, align yourself, self-heal, be balanced with your emotions, know when you can do something for other people, when you can't do something. Have some type of deity that guards you, whether that's angels, fays, orishas, loas, God, goddesses, whatever calls to you. It could just be Mother Earth, whatever resonates with you, right? Whatever divine is to you, make sure that you're dedicating time to your own spiritual practice. And what I mean by that, like for me, I have loas and orishas that I work with and ancestors. Yes, I do petition them when I'm doing energy work for others to make sure that I'm in that right vibration before I start laying hands or sending somebody else energy. With that being said, in order for me to have that strong connection, right? Like some people are like, oh my goodness, I could really feel like when you were healing me and stuff like that. It's because I have a side practice that has nothing to do with my clients. I have a side practice that has nothing to do with my clients, but it's more about myself. It has to do more with me getting my energy and vibrations up and keeping myself in balance, doing protection work on myself. Everything that I would do for a client, I do for myself. I make time for my spirits. I give them offerings. I give them gratitude. I build those connections so when I'm going beyond the veil, when I'm channeling energies, dimensions, different planes of vibrations, I'm making sure that I have my guardians, my gatekeepers, my protectors that are going to make sure that nothing that's unwanted will come in on the session between me and said client or whatever person I'm doing the healing on. So it's very important to have some type of line of defense and a strong spiritual practice so that when people try to spiritually attack you or your energy becomes depleted, the spirits can warn you like, hey, you might need a spiritual bath. You might need to pull back a little bit. You know, you'll learn to listen to your intuition. The spirits, your guardians will protect you from undesirable energies, okay? It's a protection for you and client. So it's important to have your own separate spiritual practice outside of what you do for others. Knowing when to say no, we talked about that before, having those boundaries. I'm physically sick, mentally sick, whatever it is. I don't feel like I can give you my utmost best energy exchange. So I know to pull away, kind of work on myself, heal, self-care, self-love. Okay? Living a balanced life. You can't always be in the spiritual realm all the time, right? So it's important that you do the everyday stuff. I have children, family, hobbies, habits, things that I do, books that I like to read, things that I do outside of spirituality. So I'm also living in the physical everyday world. That helps to keep me grounded. A lot of energy healers, most of the time their third eye, their crown, all the upper chakras are aligned, but they suffer a lot from balancing, connecting to nature, being grounded. So it's important to make time in your life to be in balance with your spiritual side and your physical side. And that's going to be better for you and anybody else you seek to heal energetically, especially if you're going to do it on a full-time basis. A lot of people don't talk about that. A lot of people show the razzle dazzle, the beautiful things and crystals, and look at all the cute things that I'm doing and all the aesthetics, but they don't tell you that if you fail to live in harmony, if you fail to always be in the spiritual, you lose sense of family. Being an energy worker on a full-time basis, right, is going to take time away from your family. So you have to know when your work hours are, when you're available to help people, so that you can replenish, you can self-care, and then you can also spend time doing the things you love and with your loved ones. It's why I have a set schedule, and spirituality, my time to my spirits is scheduled and is set aside, and time for my loved ones and myself is set aside. And living in that type of balance helps to keep my mental and spiritual health better so that I can give more to others. That's what you have to remember. If you can't help yourself and if you're not in balance, then you can't help other people. So always think of it that way. You owe it to yourself and others to self-care and live in harmony and balance in spiritual world and in the physical world, okay? Also, doing work on yourself, like I said previously, to take care of your spiritual health. Whether that's a spiritual bath that detaches energy. I was telling someone the other day, an empath or an energy worker is like a cup, like a glass cup, like a vessel, right? And your spirituality, your gifts from spirit, your energy that you receive from others is like water being poured into a cup. When you pour too much water, the cup overflows, your cup overflows. So as an empath, as an intuitive, we need to learn when the cup is getting full to stop and do rituals, cut cords, removing energies and entities so that you can once again empty that cup so that you can then receive more clients, aka the water, the liquid, your intuition, your gifts, and then start refilling that cup again. Never let the cup overflow. When that overflows, people have mental breakdowns, anxieties, you're feeling off balance, you start to become resentful, your life becomes chaotic. So it's important to know and do spiritual self-care and self-maintenance. Key point number 11, be realistic. Like when I was in medical school and I was doing nursing, they were like, don't go outside of your scope of practice. Like there are things that are above your pay grade pretty much. Same thing with spirituality. There are things you know you can do, and there's things that you know you can't do. That you don't have those abilities yet to do. And that's okay, because we're all at different levels in our spirituality. So don't keep up with the Joneses or the Smiths or the whatevers. Try to just concentrate on yourself. What can I realistically do? What are my actual abilities? And where are my limitations? You know, there's certain things that you can't do. We all have limitations, okay? And the most important key point, check your ego. When you become an energy worker and you start becoming full of yourself and I am this and I am that and brag, and you let ego overcome you, the spirit of ego, okay, that spirit of egotisticalness or narcissism, that type of thing, what ends up happening is we tend to forget while we're on the spiritual path. We tend to forget our passion for helping others and ourselves. And so it's important to always remain humble. There's nothing wrong with like being proud of yourself when you achieve certain skills and goals and help people, but don't let it go to your head, right? Always be humble and always be grateful. Great feedbacks when people are in gratitude, when you're seeing yourself achieve and grow in your spirituality. Hopefully this was helpful and you enjoyed this video. And this was part of your Truth Tea series. And I'll be back next Monday with a new video and a whole new topic. So yeah, this is going to be our new stuff. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. So please like, please subscribe, please comment below. Don't forget to share this video if it resonated with you. Let's raise the algorithm. And also, if you're wanting to book a one-on-one reading with me, shamanic@workpriestess.com, shamanic@workpriestess.com, and there you will see the link to my website on the description box of every one of my videos, and you can and you could book a private reading with me. Much love, much light, much blessings. Bye. Until the next video, guys.